In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a tube-in clear cast pen blank. I will not be discussing how to make a snakeskin pen blank because that's not the topic of the video. However, it is what I'm doing in this video, and so you're going to see the full process with no explanation. You could probably figure most of it out just by watching, even at high speed like this. Everything in this video is at 5 times speed. So I'll be using Mercury Adhesives Medium Flex to do this, their CA and their accelerator. I would not attempt this with stick fast. I guarantee it'll turn into a cloudy, crackly mess if you do. I don't know about other CA glues, BSI or other better quality brands. I have not tried them. I don't know if they would work. But so I'm sticking with the Mercury Flex. I'm using medium because it's what I have. Well, I'm using thin to glue the snakeskin, but that's, like I said, that's a different topic. I'll make another video later about making a snakeskin blank. But, so I'm using medium because that's what I have. If I had the thick CA, Mercury Thick Flex, then that's what, I believe that's what I would use. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. Maybe, maybe it wouldn't be a good idea. I don't know. So while I get this snakeskin prepped, let me tell you how I'll go about this. I'm going to count how many full coats got applied to the blank, and there's going to be half coats also. I'm not going to count those at first. I guess we'll just kind of add those up at the end. But the important thing is how many full coats does it take to build this up to the thickness that I need. And first we're going to seal it with a spray sealer. And we'll get on to the finishing coats in just a second here. And what I'll do is I'll count the coat on the spray when I spray the accelerator. I'm still messing around with it some. There is some bumps after the sealer dried, so I'm just getting rid of those. So now here we go. I'm going to count on the spray. That'll be the completion of a full coat. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was a half a coat. 11. We've got 11 and a half. 12. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 16 and a half at this point. So now I'm sanding down the high ridges because they got pretty built up with this many coats. I started with 220 grit sandpaper, and that was kind of a joke. So now I'm using 80 grit, and I don't want to sand through. I don't want to get rid of all the shiny spots like you would normally do if you're flattening it out. I just want to get rid of the high spots, those big giant ridges. And of course, since I started sanding, now I have to sand out all those scratches. Otherwise, they'll just get sealed in with the more coats as they get applied. And so I have to go through the full sanding process. This is, I think I'm at 220 now. And then I'll switch off to 320 and then 400. There's the 320. And then the back scratching, as I call it. That's the reverse direction sanding to get rid of the scratches. This is 400 grit. And man, look at me go. Again, this is 5x speed, 5 times the speed, because otherwise this would be a really long video. Cleaned with a little alcohol, and now we were at 16 and a half, 17 spray, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we're at 24 and a half. Now I'm checking the diameter of the bushings to see, and yeah, we're going to do more. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. We're at 29 and a half. And now I'm going to square up the ends again because all of the CA that built up on the ends. This is how I square the ends when I'm making pens. And check out this. Oh, I got a lot of CA got into the tube, so I have to clean that out. Just bear with me a second here. I'm moving as fast as I can. So what I do is I use I have a few different rods, different sizes, and I wrap a piece of sandpaper around so it fits in the slot on the side of the quill, so I can, to hold it steady and parallel and rigid, and so I can square the ends like that. I'm not good at talking fast. And I forgot where we were at. 29 and a half. So I have to, pardon my shoulder in the face, that 30, 31, that is a third, that's a third, and that's a third, 32, 32 and a half, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, there's 3/3, 38, that doesn't count, another half, 38 and a half plus that earlier half, 39. That's as many coats as I'm building up. Now I'm just fixing a few little divots that I found, a little cluster of them right there. There's a couple that I'm going to find later on too, just filling those. And it's time to put this on bushings and start turning it into a pen. We're back to my squaring the ends. I have to sand off all the buildup again. Just off one end. No, off both ends. I thought it was just one end. Anyway. And time to turn this puppy. See? Found a couple more. There's one. I think there's one more if I recall. I have to clean up the tool rest and the tool, and So I'm starting with totally the wrong tool. I tried to fabricate my own little negative rate scraper, and it's not working very well, as you can see here. It's like it's not taking anything off. It's just kind of bouncing off the blank. But I am determined, but yeah, so I'm giving it up, and I'm going to switch off to the skew chisel to clean any gunk off the end. Give it a good sharpening. Try not to slice my hand up in the process. And let's see, is that going to do it? Is that good? Nope. Let's do a little more. So nice and sharp. Now here we go. It's going to take me a little bit to kind of get my footing on this, to get the right bite. I'm being very careful because one little grab too hard will destroy this blank instantly. All that work will be gone in a split second. So, but I got a nice bite there now. I'm getting some nice cuttings. So my first order of business is to get the ends down to the bushings. Now mind you, I go to the bushing, I don't actually touch the bushing. Do not let that tip touch the bushing. I know it looks like I'm touching it, but actually I'm tipping the knife. The edge of the blade, the point, is never touching the bushing, as it never should. It takes some practice to do that, to get right up to the bushing like that without hitting it, but it's worth doing. Just get some scrap pieces and work on them or something, before attempting this on a blank that you put so much work into. So this goes on for quite a while. I'm just working the skew chisel and smoothing it out. So I'm going to jump ahead some. There's no point in watching this. It is a nice sight to watch. Look at that. I am taking off, I think, possibly thinner than a human hair at a time. So a little more divots there to fix. Got those. Okay, well, I said I was going to go away from the skew chisel, but there's still some stuff worth watching here. So let's, la 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 la. You see why I did this in high speed? I mean, at regular speed, this would be one long video, and there's nothing I could really cut out of it to make it shorter. I mean, a few bits and pieces, I guess, but mostly you want to see all of this because this is what you'll be doing. You could probably do this with a good sharp scraper. A carbide scraper would probably work well. Personally, I have a scraper that is my go-to scraper. I don't use the skew chisel that much. And but I'm afraid to use it on this because if it bites too hard just once, then forget it. It's going to go through the snake skin. There won't be any repairing that. And so now I'm going through my regular sanding process. You see I pulled out a piece of that 80 grit, but that's not what I want. So here's 220. I would start at 120, but I don't have any, so I just grabbed this 220. And, getting the ridges out. This is where I want to get rid of all the shiny spots. Bridge across the shiny spots. That's what gives me my perfectly flat plane to polish up to the glass-like finish. Now we're doing 320. And yeah, I'm going to take you through the whole sanding process. You're going to have to do it real time when you actually do one of these, so may as well get used to it. I don't know what I'm cleaning off there, what that's about, but anyway. I'm doing that's a little thin CA. We're not going to count that as a coat. I'm just doing some kind of fix there. I don't remember what happened. Maybe there was a little hole or something that was filling up with sanding dust. But anyway, now we're sanding 220, or 320. We're at 320. Let's clean off that dust and get any granules that might be floating around. Now we're at 400. Yay, yay! It's getting away from me. Butterfingers. Ted, you putz. And so we're finishing up with the 420. And then I'm going to go through the micro mesh. Now I go through the first 4 pads. I have the 9 pad set. I go through the first 4 pads up to, if I recall, it's 3,400 grit, 3,400. But I have the oh no, we're doing all the sandpaper. Okay, we're at 600 now. We're also going to do 1,500. So anyway, but on the micro mesh, I go through the first 4 pads, but then I go to my be-all buffing system, which does the remaining 5 pads plus polish and plus more. It just really gets me that glass finish. If you don't have a buffing system, then I guess you would go through the entire 9 pads and then finish polishing it. A lot of people like to use car polish. I think McGuire's has a good car polish that's popular among pen turners who like to do polished finishes. And of course there's plastic polish. Okay, 3,600 is the highest that I go. You can see how old these pads are. I've been using these same pads for years. I mean, I've had these at least 5 years. I've made hundreds of pens with them. I do not wet sand, and I do not clean the pads, ever. I don't think they've ever been cleaned. I might have just to see if it made a difference, and apparently it didn't because I never cleaned them again. And but you see, it's like they just work forever and ever. The trick is I just use light pressure, just enough to do the job, and they just keep going and going and going. I don't like wet sanding. It's sloppy. The only time I wet sand is with acrylics and other brittle plastic pen blanks, which I don't make those. I mean, I don't buy those. I certainly don't make them. I use Alumilite, either Clear Slow or Amazing Clear Cast. Amazing Clear Cast. I also like to use Liquid Diamonds. That's another favorite. But so you see, I went through the buffing process here, and I'm going to show you a close-up as soon as I'm done, although it came out blurry. I already saw the preview, and yeah, see, it's blurry since I'm moving too fast to see it really anyway. But let's assemble this pen. Now you're going to see my assembly process. That's it. That's all I need. I don't need any fancy expensive tools or gadgetry or anything like that. This works perfect. I'm lining up the pocket clip to where I want it. On this snakeskin, if you want to do a snakeskin pen blank, I got this off eBay. I think I paid $35 for it, but you can get them on eBay and Amazon. And I'll put links in the description where you can buy some snakeskin for really any kind of craft projects. Or if you just think it'd be cool to have one. But so that wraps up this video, and that's how I make a clear cast pen blank without actually casting anything. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and Have a great day.